Shh, look, The Office. Ooh. Fucking love that show. Ooh. 25 years old.
Wow.
Oh, I love the main guy. A proper genius. Writer, director, stand-up.
Far too much swearing for my liking.
Fuck off. Okay. He is brilliant. Created The Office, then Extras, then Derek. Fucking really showed his range in that.
And as for the bodies, well, you'll never find them. In other truths, Ricky Gervais slammed after, quote, erasing Office co-creator from existence, end quote, during anniversary video. Yeah, The Office turned 25 yesterday, I believe. The smash hit British television show created by Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais. And Ricky Gervais, he did I believe, top 25 moments from The Office. And Stephen Merchant, creator of such comedy gold as The Office and Extras, the other one, was not mentioned once. Now, this is not a unique happening. This has happened many times in the past. He has gone above and beyond to not mention Stephen Merchant on any level. I think this tweet sums it up, really. For someone who thinks there are no words that should be off limits, Ricky Gervais seems physically unable to say the word Steve Merchant. Yeah. And, I mean, it was blatant. So blatant, it is now making headlines. Because it's very bizarre that, one of the greatest comedy shows ever, I think, created by Steve Merchant and Ricky Gervais, you wouldn't mention at least half of the reason it worked. And I'd actually go further. I'd say it was more than half, because if you've seen any of Ricky Gervais's material post-Smirch, it's, No, thank you. I'll be passing on that. I think the highlight was Ricky Gervais doing, I don't know what the PC term is, doing disabled face and then gaslighting people into believing it's actually heartwarming and nice. Yeah, I think that was like the peak. I think it actually went downhill from that, because at least Series 1 had Carl Pilkington in it. Yeah, this sums it up. It's so bizarre. He snubbed the actual reunion to just talk about himself, with himself. The ego bit used to be a joke, but this is just who Ricky is now. It's fucking sad. And I sort of agree with that. Although I would argue this element of Ricky Gervais has always been present. For the longest time, I've believed that David Brent was only partially a character. Ricky Gervais is delighted to introduce the 25th anniversary celebration of The Office, created, dreamed, produced and invented by Ricky Gervais, all by himself with his incredible comedy mind. Yeah, if you need any better litmus test on Ricky Gervais's writing talents without Stephen Merchant, please don't do yourself a favour. Don't watch Life on the Road. I'd classify him as situationally funny. And he was situationally very funny with Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington. But he's not funny on his own. And he's certainly not funny in essentially a hug box he's created of the same 5 or 6 people he works with every fucking project now. Because for a man who goes out there to sold out arena after sold out arena, whining about the things you can't say anymore to raucous applause while he says those things, he's a very sensitive man. Here is Stephen Merchant's post on The Office's 25th anniversary. I'm taking it back to the very beginning with a clip from the unaired pre-pilot presentation we put together, which led to the BBC commission. Yeah, Stephen Merchant being the adult in the room here, he has no issue evoking. It's like Voldemort. He has no issue saying Ricky Gervais's name. He has no issue reminiscing about the time he and Ricky Gervais made The Office, because he and Ricky Gervais made The Office. And only one of them seems to realise that. How I made The Office? By by Ricky Gervais. That more or less sums it up, really. What do you think about this? I think this image really does get to the core of it. It's very bizarre, very fucking peculiar, how Ricky has gone above and beyond to not even evoke his name. You could do what Steve did in that post and say, oh, when we made The Office. But he doesn't. You saw at the clip at the beginning. I made The Office. Creator of The Office. Genius writer of The Office. As he's playing himself as a cat. He's playing himself as a cartoon cat glazing himself. That is fucking sad, mate, innit? Like, fair enough. You know, Dosser 8741 sitting at a cool 85 subscribers. I can't talk. But I didn't used to be someone. Ricky Gervais used to be someone. And I think I do think it's quite upsetting, really. And, Ricky Gervais falls into that category a lot of aging comedians fall into now. They want to offend more than they want to make people laugh. And that'll always be the death knell of your career. Because it's all well and good having offensive jokes. That's great. That's fine. Say the most heinous things you want. But be funny. And he hasn't been funny for a very long time. If you don't like Minions, you can fuck off. Dutch Barn Vodka. Can't imagine anyone objecting to this. Yeah, I mean, that's Ricky's modus operandi now. He wants to be offensive more than he wants to be funny. And it shows. And a lot of his stuff is very tired. You know, he says cunt a lot. He reminds you he's an atheist. He reminds you if you're not an atheist, you're a moron. He then, wheels out on stage his hilarious transcock woman penis routine. He then probably makes some material about Hitler. Oh, Hitler. He was a bit mental. And then the crowd goes... I just, I think it's sad. Frankly, I think it's sad that a man in his 60s is that afraid of evoking his once collaborator's name. And no matter how desperately he tries to, Stalin-like, airbrush Stephen Merchant's name out of the credits, it will always be there, mate. And I think you should embrace that. They clearly had a falling out. Steve didn't want to do the bloody Life on the Road film. Smart on his part. Very smart of Smerchant there. And I think Ricky took it as a personal affront. I think Ricky took it as a rejection. And they made some really great...